All right,
Welcome into an off-season edition of the Garden Report. The crew is back. We missed you guys.
We miss you, John.
I missed it. I missed this. This was
been like
normal.
5 days.
You know who I miss? Raptors fans. I miss Raptors fans.
I miss Raptors fans. I still have a scorn for whatever we call Heat fans.
Yeah, I don't miss them. They don't exist.
They're like Yetis. They don't exist.
I was thinking during game one, what if the Raptors were here? I was just trying to imagine it.
We should just tell them.
Are you serious right now, Bobby?
Yeah, during that blowout, I was like, the Raptors would be doing much better.
I was
than the
just
Heat.
imagining it.
Like you have high school reunions, we should just have like a Celtics Raptors live stream.
We'll get that next year, I think.
I'm actually stunned that Bobby still has the Horford jersey, but I thought somebody would have mailed him like a Lowry or something by now. And he would have been hanging out.
Yeah,
I like the red one.
He just changes it without us thinking we're not going to notice.
So, as Josue said, it's been, about a week with Celtics no longer playing basketball. And we do have the finals underway with the underway, 3 games in.
Yeah.
And the narrative here to me is really interesting with the NBA Finals. Okay, it's 2-1 right now, but game 1, Lakers come out, they win by 100. And everyone's like, whoa, everyone I talk to, thank goodness the Celtics weren't in here because it would be over in 4. And then, then they play shorthanded, kind of hang in there in game 2, and it's fairly decent. Then you have game 3 where they basically are dead. No Adebayo, no Dragic.
Right.
Unreal.
And it's the Jimmy Butler game that we were waiting for the entire Heat series and never actually came, that I didn't even think he had that in him. This was Cedric Maxwell on steroids. Get on my back and I'm going to carry you.
Yeah, there was I wasn't around for Maxwell, but that was like 2015 LeBron, if we remember what he did in that series with Kyrie out, with Kevin Love, of course, out after the Kelly Olynyk incident. It was unbelievable. And to do it with no 3-point attempts the way he did, all mid-range, all driving to the basket against that team, that has to be a top 10 finals performance ever, at the very least.
Yeah, ultimately it's going to come down to what happens in the series, whether or not that's going to be.
Well, they're going to lose. They're going to lose no matter what. But that's bodies.
Whether it's going to be remembered as a top 10 finals performance is if they actually turn this into a series or win it, in which case this would be an epic, absolutely all-time finals performance. But so my question now is for you guys is, how do you view it as, there's no question. We all conceded the Celtics, we believed was the better team. I still believe the better team than the Miami Heat, but Miami clearly played better basketball and clearly deserved to win the series, so it's not worth arguing that. They outplayed the Celtics. They won that series. There's no question about it. But I don't know what we're talking about here. Are we talking about the Celtics team we think they were playing at their absolute best, how they would have fared against the Lakers? I think, I don't know that this version of this Celtics team would have done much better. So I'm still kind of torn here. I think in our minds, as people who've covered the Celtics all year and for much of our lives, we saw what we saw this year, and it looked real. And that team played the Lakers twice, absolutely annihilated them once, and then possibly the game of the year, the one out in LA where Tatum dropped the 41, which Josue, you were at, right?
Right.
You were out there covering
that was an incredible
Sunday
game.
matinee, yeah.
That was an incredible game, and the Celtics looked every bit the Lakers equal in that game. Would you agree?
Yeah, but there's just one difference, though. There's one thing that I saw differently in that locker room after they lost to the Los Angeles Lakers. They were as happy as I've ever seen them after a loss, Zannis. And that speaks volumes to, of course, what was going on at that time. It was weeks removed from Kobe's death, being back in L.A. Obviously, everyone was excited to see Jayson Tatum go off. In my opinion, that's my favorite Jayson Tatum performance that I've ever seen, even though it did come in a losing effort. But, so that with those sort of vibes, I think it just would have been too big of a moment for them, to be completely honest with you guys. It was like I didn't see one person not smiling in that locker room. It was really odd. I get it. It went down to the wire. It was a tough loss, but it was the kind of atmosphere I've never seen in the Celtics locker room.
Yeah, they really they really enjoyed that moral victory.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. They were taking pictures and stuff. It was like they were in a museum. You know what I mean? It was just like, it was a great moment for Jayson Tatum, but I just think it would have been a really big moment for them in the finals. Let's be honest, guys. Would it really been much of a difference compared to what we're seeing right now with the Miami Heat?
You don't think so? How about you, Jimmy?
No, I don't think it'd be different. I mean, when the Heat beat the Celtics, I joked and I said, fake series, and then I said Lakers in 4. I was joking about it being, fake playoffs. but I was serious about Lakers before. I actually did think the Lakers would sweep the Heat, and that's not really a knock on the Heat. I actually think the Heat were a better matchup for the Lakers because of Butler, because of Adebayo. Now, obviously, Adebayo's down, Dragic is down, so they're playing undermanned. But to watch Jimmy Butler put in, and I watched pretty much all of that game 3, and I thought Bobby nailed it the way he explained how Butler was attacking the rim, not focused on the 3-point shots. And at the end of that game, as Butler was going to the rim, getting fouled, going to the line, what do we see from the Lakers? Going back down on their end and hoisting threes. And it just reminded me so much of what the Celtics much of what the Celtics got caught up in doing and trying to tie the game up in one shot or take the lead back in one shot. And the Lakers just slowly, got out of that game. And that just reminded me so much of Celtics where I was like, there's just no way that Celtics team that we saw. And that's the team that I'm going on. I can't go by the December Celtics. I have to go by the whatever month we're in now, September,
Game
October
5
Celtics.
and Game 6 Celtics. Those guys.
Exactly. And that team was not clicking and not designed to roll with this Lakers team, who I still expect to win in 5 or 6.
And I think that's how we have to view it. I think that's the problem is, even saying that the Celtics had more talent than Miami, it's the romantic version of a Celtics team that maybe didn't quite exist in this moment.
It's
a great way to put it.
Yeah.
At
it
some
wasn't
point
Yeah.
Right. Sorry. I was gonna say maybe you're in a relationship with this girl and you just keep going back to the good old days, but that's not your relationship
we
anymore.
used to have so much fun. I love her. Right.
It's time to cut it. Yeah.
Don't you remember? We did have good times. Why are you leaving?
That's a great analogy because you got to remember the negatives too. And Kemba Walker was banged up, which we know it didn't look great at the end of the postseason run there. He would have been a key the way Rajon Rondo's playing in particular. Unreal what Rondo's given that team right now. The passing, the playmaking, the steals. In that Nuggets series in particular, he broke off 3 steals in 5 possessions.
He's shooting 50% from 3.
Yeah.
Unreal.
You're not even exaggerating,
Yeah,
he's incredible. It's 47% last day. I haven't last couple of games. I don't know what it's been, but
he's 33 in the series, which is what you'd expect.
He's only taken 10.
That's what you'd expect above him as well. Now, if I'm just looking at it in a vacuum, I do think the Celtics could do things that would make it tough on LA. I think they could throw some bigger lineups out there, like Enes Kanter would get back into the fold against McGee and Dwight and all those guys, and that's a plus for the Celtics. That was actually the key, I thought, to the way they competed with them during the regular season was being able to play Kanter a healthy amount of minutes. But I look at Anthony Davis, and this is what we're learning from the series right now. This guy is going to be he decides if there's any competition in the NBA for years to come. You see in Game 3, he's passive, he's in foul trouble. That lets the Heat back into it. But when he's shooting, when he's going inside like he can do on both ends of his game, he's unstoppable.
I see him going in the other direction, though. I think he's getting softer as time goes on.
He's 57% from 3 in this series.
I know, but I think the inside, him getting tough buckets inside days are gone.
Well, that always happens.
Really?
I think he likes
serious? You really think that?
I think what happens to players.
I don't think you go back to that. I think as soon as you start to get comfortable,
right.
And a lot of these bigs that have these skills envision themselves as threes. I just happen to be tall, but I'm a wing, and they like to play out there. They don't want to go back in. We talked even before the season, Horford.
That makes it tough on teams too.
I don't want to bang down there. How many guys who are taller, I don't want to play
even
center.
Garnett hated playing
I'm not a center. I don't want to play center.
But you know what makes it harder? If you have someone like Bam Adebayo, that's exactly the kind of defender he is. He'll keep him out there.
Oh, they had Jay Crowder on Davis in Game 1. I was like, what's going on here? It makes it tougher on teams in today's NBA.
You hate that he's out of the series. It's disappointing. I think we get a much more entertaining series.
Yeah, in today's NBA, it's tough to put a 4 on a Anthony Davis. And I think we all went crazy all year saying, why doesn't he play center? Why doesn't he play center? But most teams can't match up with LeBron at the 3, Davis at the 4, and then a real center in there. They went in the reverse direction of the league.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to, LeBron and Davis. There's just nobody in the Celtics that can roll with them from start to finish. You can, Brad can get creative and throw Marcus Smart out there, or, Jaylen Brown can give it his all. But at the end of the day, LeBron and AD are going to get theirs, and I just don't see anybody. In this case, I don't see the Heat stopping them.
But too often we focus on what you're worried about that you can't stop that they do, and not look at it the other way enough. who wants to play a team with 3 athletic wings, when Hayward is right?
If the Celtics were right, it's a different story. I'd give the Celtics the series.
Nightmare. Nobody wants anything to do with that because every single time they're on the floor, there's mismatches everywhere. You're always putting people in positions that they're just not comfortable doing it, So a guy like Davis playing away from the basket in situations like that is a gift to a team like the Celtics, which is why I think they actually have
I agree with that.
Yeah, they could have made a series, but again, we all agree. I think it comes down to that they weren't that. They
fully healthy, fully functioning. Yeah, I mean, if everyone's playing at their peak potential, you have a series. Yeah. Congratulations. Right. But it doesn't work that way.
So Danny Ainge commented on that. He did. It was a little bit of excuse making, I thought. We'll talk about that in a minute in his press conference. I know, Bobby, you were in on all of that. First, want to tell the folks at home about our wonderful sponsor, which is
everybody.
Jimmy, say it for me.
Everybody, CarShield.
No, say it right.
Come on, say it right.
CarShield.
CarShield. Okay.
CarShield's still around. I love it.
Computer systems in cars are the new normal, from electronically controlled transmissions to touchscreen displays to dozens of sensors, but you can't fix any of these new features yourself. So when something breaks, it could cost a fortune, and now is not the time for expensive repairs. CarShield has an affordable protection plan that can save you thousands for a covered repair, including computers, GPS, electronics, and more. The people at CarShield, understand payment flexibility is an absolute must. Monthly plans can be customized to your needs for rates as low as $99 a month. No long-term contracts or commitments. CarShield gives you options others don't. You get to choose your favorite mechanic or dealership to do the work, and CarShield takes care of the rest. They also offer complimentary 24/7 roadside assistance. CarShield has helped over 1 million customers. So drive with confidence knowing you got covered from America's #1 auto protection company. Now here it is. We call this the call to action, okay? For as low as $99 a month, you can protect yourself from surprises, save thousands for covered repair. Call 800-CAR-6000. Mention the code GARDEN, okay? Garden.
800-CAR-6000.
GARDEN, Garden for those at home. Or visit carshield.com and use the code GARDEN to save 10%. That's carshield.com, code GARDEN. A deductible may apply.